So guys, in this video I will make from this head, I will make this head, and I will explain a lot of things. I will explain forms, I will explain shapes, I will explain why this is what it is, and some other very interesting things. But this video was not inspired, but it was started by this guy, which is, his name is Offline Bot, I'm not sure why. He wrote a comment on my video, the previous video that I made for sculpting mistakes, and it was deleted by YouTube, but I saved it from my email. It was deleted probably because of the link, but I downloaded his head and I asked for his permission, and he told me that I can make this video, and I kinda will make it, and you will see it, and the result will be this. And yeah, we will have some fun after that, but let me not spoil it for you. Let's get started. So guys, let's figure out what is wrong with this picture here. First, this is not a picture. This is a 3D model. So yeah, this is the first thing. The second thing is that the face area, which is this part here, the eyes, nose and mouth, is too small. Or the head is too big. So what we will do, since we don't want to move the eyes and they are a separate object, we want to shrink the overall head, probably. Also from here, we have to shrink it. The neck is way too wide. We have to kind of do this. But before we do all this, and we have problems with the mouth, we have with the nose, we have with the eyes, we don't have exactly lower or upper eyelids, we don't have something like eyebrows. We don't need to have exact eyebrows, but something like eyebrows. Also eye sockets we don't have exactly. So first thing, what I want to do is I want to show you how important the ears are when you're sculpting a female or male head in this case. So for the female also, by the way, yeah. So the male, female, doesn't matter. Ears are important. So first, the ears has to be in the proper position. What is the proper position here? A little bit more down. So they will be in line with the bottom of the nose and the top of the eye here. Something like this. Then the ears should go, I like to kind of make them a little bit like this. More like big ears. Doesn't matter. Okay. Then we'll have to make their form a bit better. So first, the hole of the ear. It should be a hole. So we don't have hole in here. Let's make a hole like this. A hole in the ear, way down, way down. And then this here will be, which is the ear hole now, will be down here, and it will be a probably earring hole. Why not? Yeah, let's inflate it. Okay, earring hole, nice. And then since I don't have too much material on the edge, I will inflate the edge with my inflate brush. Wow. And then I will go with a down standard brush and define this kind of area of the ear, this part, which is the border, which goes in. So it goes like this, it's very much fine, and then go inside here. So we will push it inward. I'm using various brushes, as you can see. I'm changing between the brushes with my hotkeys, and yeah, if you want to find out what my brushes are, they're here in the bottom. But how to make your shortcuts and everything, I have a video on my channel. ZBrush for Absolute Beginners is one of the videos, or for beginners. There is a video about making your custom ZBrush interface. There are two videos about it, by the way. In one of them you can get this manual. But yeah, whoever is interested will find it. So let's continue for the people who are interested just in the ear or in the anatomy as a whole. So this ear is starting to look kind of nice, and he's starting to look like a MMA fighter, because some of them has these ears, which is kind of curious. Why they have these ears? Probably because of the wrestling. Yeah, the wrestling is kind of breaking their ears, and they're starting to kind of look strange. But whatever, doesn't matter. Let's push this area inward, and then here, and then here in the inside we will make this Y shape. This is, you see, Y. Let me show you. This is Y shaped. And why? Why is Y-shaped? That's the question that it also asks. It says, why? Why am I here in this ear? Because probably it's something about the hearing, I'm not sure. But this is a Y shape here, most of the time. And you probably will notice it. It's here. This. Yes. So I will show probably some of the things here in my skull and my head too, because it's kind of convenient. I have it in my possession. It's right on top of my neck. So yeah, also a good idea is to have a very nice tool, by the way, I'm using sometimes when I'm sculpting human male head. And this tool is, I know it's not very logical, but it's this tool, you see. Yeah. So yeah, this tool is pretty important. Sometimes you can use it. It's called a mirror. Yeah, if somebody don't know what it's called a mirror. It's pretty useful. And also some things from the internet. For example, let me show you. I just wrote headplanes in Google, and I have some headplanes, and I can look at them. For example, this one is a very nice. Of course, this is from Neanderthal skull, because his head, the top of the head, is too small. But nonetheless, it's kind of nice for the planes, for the main planes of the face. Okay, so you see the ears, when we have kind of a human ears, nice ears, let's see before and after. Amazing transformation. So that's why you need to make the ears. So 5 minutes we are making the ears, very nice. Now, let's kind of make the overall shape of the head a little bit more appropriate. So since the ears, if you see me like this from the front view, you barely see the beginning of my ear, because the ears here, the plane of the head is going inward a little bit after the certain area is going inward, so the ears are a little bit in. So let's tuck them in a little bit like this, and then this area will go out, the ears will go in like this. And now, very importantly, here we'll also flatten this and also make it small. I mean, not small, but a little bit lower it. And here around the eye area, we should make this. So here on the nose, we have to make kind of a dig a little bit and make this kind of a thing in here. Then the eye socket will be like this. You see, this is kind of the representation of the eye socket, but we have to see it. It has to be kind of visible, because you can touch it. It's one of the places that your skin and the bone are kind of touching. Because in some other places you have, between the skin and the bone, you have muscles and fat. But in these areas, you don't. You have just the skin. And here you have some muscles or fat, but here it's only bone. Here also, you see this line in here. No, in here, this line. Very important line. I'm not sure how it's called, but it's like this plane in here of the forehead, and then the back plane is here. So let's make this line, by the way, it's very important. So like this, I'm digging in the back of this line, and this line is kind of going to the corner here of the eyebrow, if we have an eyebrow. And then here I will flatten this area, because it's kind of a plane. And we will use this method of flattening some things just to make them a little bit more stylized in many cases, because it's very useful to kind of start with your shapes, make them stylized, then smooth a little bit, then add secondary detail, and so on and so on. It will happen, most likely. So I will dig behind the eye in this area and dig above the cheek. And the cheek bone exactly is kind of entering here, the top of the ear. So it's this, in this area. But be careful with it. It should be kind of in a male face. It should be in. It should go inside like this. It shouldn't have so much cheek fat to look feminine. So be careful with this. So the chin, by the way, and the jaw is kind of wrong. It has this kind of a bulge in here, which we don't want, so I will push it. Now it's looking a bit better. And then we'll push the whole jaw and the neck. The neck, by the way, we have a lot of issues here in the neck we should fix. Let's fix a little bit of issues in the neck and let's go back. So, for example, let me show you. First, this here is, you see this muscle? It's from thin to thick. It's not exactly like this in the real life. In real life, it starts from the back of the ear, and it's pretty long and thin here, but then it goes to the middle of the neck in here and connects to your collarbone, where it's a little bit more bulgy and thin. But it has some other things going on, but the idea is that we should do this, and behind it we will have our trapezius. And the trapezius, between the trapezius and this, there's a little, it's not exactly hollow area, but it's something like hollow area, which will make so that the neck from front view will look a little bit like this. You see, because this muscle will come down, it will have a little bit of thing on the side, again connecting to the collarbone, which is here. Between the two parts of the collarbone, there's a 1 eyeball distance, approximately. Then the collarbone will be here. It will be something like this, and then it will be the trapezius in the back. But the main thing that we'll see here in the front is this neck part, and then here we'll have a Adam apple, and then we'll have mustaches, and then probably eyebrows and the chin, the beard. Okay, let's continue. So let's make this muscle a little bit here. So this muscle comes from the back of the ear, front-wise, and comes in here. So you see from the side view, wow, a big, alien head, a little bit. Yeah, now it's more alien. But I mean, when you make it like this, it looks alien, it's okay. When you make it like this, it doesn't look alien, it doesn't look human. It looks like nothing. So we have to be careful about that. And okay, I will not push you anymore. I will just fix it. So with the big move brush, I will just push this and fix it. It's easy. It's easy fix. Easy fix. Yeah, it's not an advertisement, by the way. So I'll push this also and push this. So the neck will be kind of the back part of the neck, and the front part of the neck will be kind of aligned to each other. They will be, what's the word? Not symmetrical, but perpendicular, not perpendicular, but the opposite. They will be whatever. So we will kind of squeeze the head even more. And you see, when it's like this, it looks like the golden mask of Tutankhamun, which is like, no. So we need to just take it by the ears and just push it inward. And here I will just push also this back part inward and this front part inward. You see how we have this plane in the side here, and it ends on this arch. You see, it's the same. So basically that works. Now we see that we have problems with the nose, with the mouth, very big chin, but whatever. Let's continue with the neck. We have to fix this part in here to just tuck it in a little bit, and the neck will start to appear nicer. Let's make this. By the way, you have to be careful here not to overdo it. And with all the parts, the Adam apple here, with all the parts, we have to not overdo it. We have to do something, some form, like for example, do this, and then smooth it. And then if we have to kind of flatten with the high polish brush and smooth it again, especially when we have a model which has a pretty high resolution like this one. Yeah, this is the same model that the guy gave me, So it's his resolution. He just made it this high, the Dynamesh. So I'm using it and I'm not changing it at all. So what I'm doing here is the clavicle. It's kind of nice to have the clavicle like it is in real life. It's kind of surrounding the neck. So it's coming here from the front part and it's going a little bit around the neck and on the side. And that's the clavicle or the collarbone. And then in the back, this will be the scapula and this will be the trap muscles, trapezius. And here we'll have maybe some separation at some point. We have to be careful also here for the back of the head. It should look kind of a round and nice, like ball shape. Yes, it now looks kind of nice. So the shape of the head is one thing, but also what we need to do is do the face features, which now are a little bit strange. But let's also just take a little bit this in, since now it looks too alienish. Once I was a kid, I was like 10th grade, so I was like maybe almost 18 years old, I'm not sure. 16, let's say 16. And I'm flattening this, So I kind of shaved my head for the first time and I went after that to the seaside. And in the first or the second day, my head was so burned, so it just went like a balloon. And it was like, when I was doing this, it was floating inside like something. It was inflated. I mean, it was pretty strange. But this was from the burn. So yeah, you have to be careful with that. But we don't want that for our character. So we'll even maybe just make it a little bit smaller. So next thing, the mouth. Let me show you a little bit more about the mouth. So this is a very common mistake to make the mouth, and the mouth looks like this a little bit. So what we need to do, and what I always do, is to push the corners of the mouth inward like this with a high polish brush, and now with a down standard brush. And now it doesn't look perfect, but smooth the bottom here, just the side of the bottom lip, and be aware that the bottom lip here, it's kind of flat area. It's not like it's like this. You see, this is not very nice. So it's kind of flat area here, and here we have kind of inward part, and then we might even push this a bit more. So now the mouth looks a little bit better, but we can make it even better. How? We have to make the form of the upper lip, this kind of a angle in the middle, and also the mouth itself is rarely that flat between the lips. It almost always has some form, which most of the cases is pushing this down and pushing the corners down a bit. And you see how it goes with the shape. And the shape now is from here up, down here, like this. I'm a little bit exaggerating now, and like this. This is the shape. And we have to also make the upper lip like this. And we have to dig a little bit here for this thing. And then the nose, by the way, let me show you the nose since it's kind of on the screen. The nose is the main problem of the nose. There are a few problems, but the main problem is the nostrils are not well defined. So what I kind of mostly do, is make it like this. This plane, and this is one plane here. This in the back is another plane. This is another plane here in the front, and here we'll have another plane, then another plane here, then we'll have another plane. Yeah, it's pretty, how to say, it's pretty planar. No, it's not planar. It's complex. It's a complex form. You have to practice it. Here in the bottom of the nose is now like it's kind of glued to the face, which is not good. We have to have this kind of inner part that goes up, and this goes down, and this here is more sharp, and this will go inward like this. And now you see the nose is looking better. And yeah, and the eyelids, the bottom eyelids are pushed in this area, so this is going outward. Because it's they're following the form of the eyeball. That's normal. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's continue with this. The lips. Let's like push them together a bit in the middle. Let's dig here. And we are kind of done. But they still look a little bit on the front like this. Why? Because from the side view, this is too much of an angle, too big of an angle. I would just pull the front part, just the middle part of the upper lip, near the nose. I will push it outward just a little bit. And now he looks more relaxed. And the next thing that I like to do is, I will like to go to the corners of the mouth and just add a little bit more volume there. Like this. Just like this. It's nothing too much. And smooth it, of course. It's don't have to be too much. In some people it's too much, but we have to be careful with it. I will smooth this area here also. Smooth everything, just to have a smooth surface to work on. And now it's starting to look kind of better, but what we need to do is maybe increase the mouth a little bit. So a little. Then I will probably go to the nose. The nose from the side view needs more work. So let's do this and this. So just a kind of an angle shape. Then I will do a shape in here in the front, and now I will flatten this area in the back, flatten this area here, flatten the middle. We have to define a little bit more the nostrils, and here I will make an angle. You have to learn kind of the planes of the face, but don't this inner part here, like I told you, so it will not look like it's glued to the face. Very important. There are people that doesn't have it that much, but most people have it in one way or another. So it's better to have it than not to have it. And you see how it now looks kind of better, but the nose is a little bit too wide. If it's a white male, this guy, it's a Caucasian, the nose will be a little bit like this. And then we'll have a front part of the nose, so I will dig here and increase this just a bit. So you see, my nose, it has a front part, and it has the back here, the nostril. That's what I'm doing here. And what else we need to do now? So this plane here of the nose is kind of pointing backward. It's not visible from the front. So this will go back like this. And it can vary in size in different people. But yeah, and I will smooth it. And then here, you see from the side view, the nose is like flat, flat, flat. It's not like this. Most of the time, if we're making kind of a idealized male, we will make it like going forward, the nose, then going up a little bit with this, and then having this plane in here. But although this front part or the top part could be like flat like this, it's not a problem at all. And the other part, the nose is a little bit wider in this area here above the nostrils. It's not that shrinked. Many people are making it like this, shrinked, and then here like this. It doesn't look good. This is a no-no. You have to add meat in this area. Add meat. Add it. You see my nose? Yeah, my nose is pretty big. Yeah, I know. But still, it has meat above the nostrils. So it has to be like this. Of course, if you are making a likeness sculpt or something, you will see what your model looks like. I will suggest, if you want to sculpt nice humans, nice kind of a manly looking men faces, manly looking. So I'm just squeezing the joint here. If you want to sculpt manly looking faces, you should try to sculpt John Cena. His face is pretty manly, although what he has is his lips are a little bit down like this. So just make John Cena, but make his lips a little bit more up to the nose. And he will look more manly even than John Cena, which is, yeah, I know, impossible, but sometimes it could happen. The other thing is, you see from 3/4 view, he has a tumor here, or he was hit very hard and it's swollen. We have to fix that. So since we are doctors, we will fix this swollen just by pushing it with the Alt and the Move brush. So Move brush has this Alt option that it can move through the normals of the surface. The other thing I would like to do is to make this thing in here. Just drag it and then smooth it. And then from a side view, you will see we'll have kind of those ridges over the eyes, over the eyebrows. But it has to be subtle. I mean, some people have it very, very not subtle. But most of the time it should be subtle. And now you see, it's starting to look pretty nice, although the eyes looks odd. He looks a little bit Asian because he doesn't have a proper eyelids. So let's make proper eyelids for this guy. How to make them? With the standard brush I will go and just drag a little bit. This is the upper eyelid. By the way, the eyes looks very much far apart. The distance between the eyes, if you see my eyes, it's not very appropriate, but the distance between the eyes most of the time is one eye, here between the eyes. And between the corners of the eyes and the back of the, and this widest part of the skull, this distance from front view is also kind of a one eye. So what we need to do here is push this a bit inward. So like this. And maybe more in. So it's around the eye more. And this is looking kind of better. Now, what I will do is very simple. I will go with the damp standard brush and just make the crease over the upper eyelid. And it goes from side to side, parallel. Yeah, that was the word, parallel to the eye, to the eyelid. And then the bottom here will have this kind of thing. You see how it goes a little bit up and then goes. Let me show you. So it's kind of like this most of the time. And then here we'll have this. But if the guy is kind of frowning, it's more manly, it will go like this, then it will go like this, and I will show you why it happens. Let me show you. So first, now, oops, now it looks fine. So if somebody wants to again ask, this is the program that I'm using for drawing. This is called Epic Pen, about Epic Pen. It's business license because I bought it. It's pretty nice program to draw on the screen. I don't know if you want to use it or you need to use it because it's kind of for drawing on your sculpt. And since I'm teaching people, I'm teaching in an academy, I'm teaching in internet, I'm teaching in a lot of places, so I need this program. It's very much useful for me. So I was about to show you why this happens, the flattening of the, you see my eyes? It's kind of flat, the top. Why? Because we have fat pad in the outer side here. Rarely we have fat pads here in the inner part, in the inner side. If you touch your inner side of the eye in here, near the nose and a little bit more up, it will be kind of touching the bone in here. So there is a bone. Let's say it's a bone. But here we have fat. It's very thin, very nice fat. For the female, it's bigger. The fat there is bigger. But what happens with the male is when we kind of mask the lower eyelid and we can just dial down this fat so it goes above and just covers the eyelid almost completely, which is kind of more manly. And yeah, this was strange, but whatever. So, and there will be our eyebrow, for example. And you see how he looks more like, yeah, frowning. Yeah, man, I'm a man. Yeah, I'm a man. Who's the man? Yeah. So yeah, this is why it happens. And sometimes it covers even more here, but the idea is that it kind of makes, and people are drawing it when we draw it, so I have drawn it too, they are drawing it like this shape. Like this, then this, and then this. It's more manly shape. You never draw a female like this unless, yeah, you maybe do sometimes, but most of the time you don't. So this is the thing. So now, what else? Let's continue a little bit on the ears. We have to push them a bit. This I will smooth. And the eyes are starting to kind of look nice, but the bottom eyelid, we have to fix it. From the side view, it's kind of tucked in, but not too much. We have to push this. Push this. Push this. Because the bottom eyelid is kind of going around the eyeball. And the eyeball is a sphere. So this will be a half a sphere, you see? Yeah, this looks a bit better. Although not too much better. Let's kind of make the neck a bit more like this. And kind of squeeze this. Let's see it from 3/4. It looks kind of nice. Although, from the bottom view, maybe we can push the eyebrows even more down. These corners of the eyebrows, they shouldn't be like this. You see, it's not good. So push them back. Most of the time you need to push them back. And also don't make the cheeks like this. This will be if our guy is a Japanese guy, or if he was, again, hit with something there, or some other thing, I'm not sure, maybe some malformation or whatever. But most of the time, for a manly skull, we have to push this back. We'll have a kind of a cheekbone, but we have to push it. Not too obvious there. Yeah, this is even too much, I think. Alright, but this looks kind of nice. Let's just push behind the eye again. A little bit more. Yeah, so from the front view it will be more visible there. Of course, if we overdo it, it will start to look odd. But it's better to overdo it than to not do it, in my opinion. And here, for example, this is how it works. So this is going down, and it's going into the cheek, which is here. So let me try to draw it for you. Not sure that I will be able to, but let me try. So this is the eyebrow, for example, or the eye ridge is going here. And how it looks from the surface is it's kind of maybe a little bit closer to the eye on. It's kind of going like this and starts to get this. And here we'll have our cheekbone. This is a front plane. It's going back. It could have a little bit of a inward here, but here it will have outward curve, and it will be like this. You see? Something like this. I don't know if it's kind of shown, but this is in the front, and this is always going inward and back, even if it's kind of a fat pad. On the female, it will be more bulk here. It will be more like this. But on the male, it will be more flat, but still it will cover kind of the upper eyelid. Okay, let's wait for ZBrush. So the other main thing that we haven't done, but it kind of naturally came, is this here. Let me show you this. So this is very important for the male. Not exactly this, but let me show you. So let's try this. From the corner of the eye, around this area, down, we can dig it. We can dig this. And this will be our bottom part of the eye socket. So this will be the skull. Your skull will be visible there. Not visible, but it's basically visible, yes. It will be visible. It will be more back than the top. You see, the top is here, the bottom is here, and then the cheekbone is kind of continuation of this. So I'll push it a little bit more, like this. Yes, so what I like to do is go from here and start and then go back down like this, and from here, from the upper side of the nostril, go down just near the mouth. And then when we smooth this, so most of the time we make something and then we smooth it, but it stays there. It stays just a little bit and it looks manly. So if we want him to look even more manly, I'm flattening here a little bit. If we want to look even more manly, I will push even more in this area. And you see how from the front view, we have this kind of a chin. But you have to not overdo it. Don't make it like go in like this here. No, this is not good. Although it could happen because you see the skull below will be kind of straight. But if it has more like fat in here, it will bulge and it will make it more like a big jaw guy. But in our case we don't want that much. And then here, maybe this will be the cheek and it will go down and we will dig a little bit behind this. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit wonky, but still it looks kind of nice. And even more manly, I will make his cladomastoid or whatever chewing muscle here, and then flatten the sides of it, going to the ears. And I don't want to see the size of it, so I will just increase this, and I will push the ear part in. From the front view, I don't like to see too much of it, although it could be visible a little bit. So you see, but everything, it has to be moderate. And if you want to make a certain model, for example, you have to know that those things are there. This is here, it's like a triangle because it's kind of disappeared up. This is here, but for the younger people, it's kind of smooth. Especially in here, the young people will have a very smooth area. It's, if you want to make it your guy looks younger, you have to kind of smooth it here. And also this area and in this, it's important because there is a fat pad in here, there are fat pads in here, and we have to kind of have, we have them. Young people have them, old people have them. The distribution of the fat pad is a little bit different in different people, but most of the time, if we want a manly male, we do those things. And now he looks kind of an average, manly, superhero type of guy. Maybe. Let me just think a little bit. We don't just work. I've practiced for this guy like always. Like I made like 15 or more. Let me almost 20-25 heads maybe before I make this. I will push a little bit because I think it's again a bit too much. The width of the head in the back, it's a little bit too much. Let's push also the clavicle or the collarbone, and let's see if it's not, the neck is not too long, but I think now it's best. Now it's best. Now it's the best. Now it's just the best. So he's looking fine. Let's compare it to this. Yeah, I think a little bit better, but we can even, let me show you some other things. Yeah, we have time. I can show you some other things. Since my videos are almost an hour, almost always, I can show you some interesting things. So, if we want this guy to be more manly, more fighter type, we can do certain things, and now comes the fun part. Let me copy this guy, duplicate it, and now we wanted him to be more fighter guy. So I will push the nose in. You see? Then pull pull the lips a little bit on the top, and now he looks a bit more like I'll kick your ass, but still not too much. So we can increase this part of the nose like this. Since the nose most of the time is coming forward, not forward, but a little bit more forward, and then if it's broken, it will suddenly come down, so it will make this kind of a break in the nose, which is interesting. We can even, you know, make this, and now he looks more manly. We can also increase the size of his mandibulus, or whatever this top part here is, and also we can make him more neck heavy, like this. He's a fighter, and since his ears are kind of fighters, but I will make them a little bit bigger, and the neck pretty huge. Also those kind of traps, let's go up, and also the top part of the head. Yeah, it's a little strange, but let's make it smaller. Let's just see what happens. It will start to look a little bit caricatural or whatever, but it's kind of nice. A little bit wider jaw. And we may even make those muscles that are Arnold Schwarzenegger-like here. Pretty cool. And then we may push this even a bit more. And then we can dial down the eyebrows more down. And you see, it's kind of fighterish type of guy. Maybe bigger mouth or smaller mouth, let's try. Smaller mouth is okay, but let's try bigger mouth. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to get caricature. It's not, but it was not realistic in the first place. It's just kind of a nice male head. It was. Now it's not that nice. It's now it's a little bit intimidating, which is kind of okay, since we may want to make this kind of character sometimes. Let's increase the size of the jaw even, like this. And, ooh, he's looking very, you know... But, if we want our guy, or this guy even, to be more like a... yeah, let's make the neck a bit bigger from the side view also. Yeah, now it's kind of nice. It's not the best, but still, yeah. So, what we can do, if we want him to be smarter and uglier, not uglier, but a little bit like me, like a potato, for example. Let's make him a potato. So, potato will be with a longer nose. Maybe his lower jaw will be in front again, but not exactly the whole thing. This part will go back. You see? The neck, of course, will be way too thin. And the jaw, not that particularly visible. I will even smooth here. We'll have not so visible jaw. Those things also I will smooth in here. We'll have even a little bit fat in there. You see how he is starting to look? Let's dig this up. Let's make even his eyelets a bit more potato-ish. A bit more forward. And opened maybe like, I'm scared of everything. And the head, of course, the upper part of the head a little bit bigger. And now he's looking like, almost like me, like a potato, but... Yeah, see, he's sad. Why am I so... Oh, yeah, of course. The neck should be way thinner. It's too much. So yeah, you can kind of make that if you want. Those are the things. And yeah, the chin. Much smaller chin. And those things also not so pronounced. Basically, not so, you know, crushed face, not so much planes to see, just a regular guy. Sad. Maybe even those things will go inward. And those type of guys will have even a little bit of female characteristics. So not so pronounced ridges here of the eyebrows and this. Not so pronounced these areas. Although if it's a thin guy, it could have this pronounced. But if it's a young guy, better make this a bit like this. Because we have a muscles in here. Even if we don't have fat in there, we have some muscles that are passing. And yeah, it's looking interesting. So that's what I told you. It's the fun part. It's just interesting and fun to do this kind of things. To experiment. So if you make kind of a decent... This started to look like me. If you make kind of a decent human face, male, you can make it whatever. You can make it fat, you can make it thin, you can make it strong, you can make it weak, you can make it whatever you want. You just have to have the base. So the base is this. This is our base. And the base is pretty nice. I never start with the base. I always start with the sphere, of course, but this is my thing. So I want to show you just a little bit this thing. This is will be my new course that I'm making. But this will be about this guy. It will be an absolute beginners, ZBrush, Blender, Substance Painter course, and also a little bit of a bonus, rigging of the low poly in Blender and rendering in Blender. It's almost done, but it will be time until I put it on. So let me show you all the heads that I've made. I will just shift click. So these are all the heads, and I will expose. And those are all the heads that I've made until now. So they are 4 by 7. Ooh, a lot, almost. Yeah, those 4 at the end are still the main head, but still, you see, the beginning, it was not that bad. I mean, it's fine. They're all kind of fine. At some point, I was a little bit, you know, I made this kind of a fighter, I made this kind of a weak guy, see? And then I make kind of a Afro-American, or I don't know how to say it without offending anybody, but you see what I mean? I made it a little bit of Asian, but it's not exactly good. I have to show you let me show you with this one, with this guy. These are, by the way, the places that your skull is kind of very close to the surface, and that's why those places are very important for you to kind of make. So this is here in the side of the eyebrow, in the bottom, in this area. This is the bottom of the eye socket. This is the nose area here, which is the corner of the nose, because this is the bone, and after that is the cartilage. Then here also you have kind of can touch the bone. This, of course, you can touch. This is kind of it's not exactly a bone, but something like this. Of course here, and yeah, I may forgot some things, but this is kind of the areas. And for that, I will suggest for you to kind of, let me just decrease the visibility, just the eyes. I will suggest for each and every one of you who wants to make faces or heads, likenesses, whatever, doesn't matter, to make skulls, make a lot of skulls. I have a video about making a human skull. I think it's pretty useful. If I have to be honest, if I have to be modest, it's the best video about making a skull, sculpting a skull, or even drawing a skull in internet. But yeah, let's not be that modest. So you can check it out. I have also a course for female anatomy, but probably most of you already know that. It's paid, but it's not that expensive. Like, the most is like $20, I think. And yeah, make a lot of skulls if you want to make human faces. Skull is the base. And then you have to learn, after you make a lot of skulls, or in between you making a lot of skulls, you can kind of learn the other things like fat pads, muscles, and overall forms. But for this, it will help you to make likenesses, to try to make people that have this kind of pronounced features like MMA fighters or WWW wrestlers or whatever. They have this kind of more pronounced male-ish features, or very beautiful female actresses, for example, you can draw or sculpt, so you can learn a lot of things from that. Some anatomy books also will be useful, but it's not mandatory. Of course, you can always write on Google, for example, face fat pads or face fat distribution or something like this, and there will be some schematics. And again, very important, very useful, planes of the face, of course. So let's see side-by-side comparison between this and our, oops, Shift S and this one. Yeah, it's an improvement, we may say. So this will be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video, of course, which I'm not sure what will be about, but we'll see. Maybe something interesting, hopefully.